Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. I have my crystal ball off to the side, so I will be scrying throughout this message. If you're new to my channel, my readings are a little different, and if you're returning, welcome back. You know how we do if it doesn't resonate with you. If you're forcing the story to fit, arguing with it in any way, just leave it behind for the people who it's meant for. So channel members, you had a message post last night, so definitely check that out. And if you're interested in channel memberships, that link will be in the description box below. If you are interested in the 5-minute manifestation to help anxiety, that is listed on the other channel, linked down in the description box. Okay, let's go ahead. Taking a step aside. And allowing spirit to pass through me. Opening up to receive information. We have the womb. This card keeps coming out for this collective. It's been coming out for like a month, right? This time it's really speaking to me about those sacral spaces and creativity, the things that we're creating in the maiden. Okay. Vulnerability, innocence, sensitivity, and then the king. Okay. Control. So this is kind of interesting, right? Someone here, it feels a little bit like we're working through some very deep shadow aspects. So by shadow aspects, one of the things I'm talking about is the reactivity, right? What's allowed into those spaces that we're vulnerable in, and what's not allowed into those spaces, how we react from those spaces, and how our reaction from those spaces shows us either the things that we still have to heal, or it shows us what's not right for us, right? We have to use discernment and understanding the difference. Some people, they can think that everything is supposed to teach them a lesson, which I absolutely believe. However, by doing that, they allow things into their life that really shouldn't be there, right? So that may be of concern to somebody who this message is for. Okay, we have the sword. This is trying to get clear on something. There may even be issues of feeling, especially with that number 4 popping out at me, which is for my personal number of conflict. This may be that someone here, we have either a situation around us that's influencing us, or we're trying to root out something inside of us where there's an element of war, right? We may be trying to get clear on something. I feel with the maiden, you know, some of you may resonate with having had to be in your masculine energy for a very long time, and whether you're male or female doesn't matter. And when we talk about the masculine energy, there's the healthy masculine energy, but then there's an unhealthy masculine energy. For some of you, this is more of that unhealthy masculine energy, the one that puts us in survival mode, right? The one that is basically, I have to fend off everyone, I have to look for the devil in the room, where you'll find one, and I have to, you know, take control, be the person, do the thing, and no one else is going to help me. I can't expect that from anyone. Some of you are trying to heal that space, right? It's a very difficult place to heal when that's what you've been shown your whole life. And where someone is trying to step into that greater sensitivity, that greater vulnerability of saying that I can soften up, right? I can soften up. I can be myself. I can be sensitive. I can cry. I can, you know, share my emotions. I can, you know, I can trust myself to keep myself safe, not from this negative way of holding the sword and brandishing it, but because I understand that I don't have to be attached to people fulfilling me, right? Whoever's message this is about acceptance. And so one of the things that's showing up here the fiery sword, this energy of the sword, this is twofold. One, we have this warlike energy that is ready to go. And whether that's something that we consistently experience when we're trying to step into this sensitivity, or if it's something that emerges outside of us. And the other side of it is that we're getting very clear on where it is that we're going. Okay, this is the singer of transfiguration, turning one thing into something else, right? And that's what I'm seeing here. We're trying to make the king the maiden. And the king energy is great. This is, really when it's in its healthy form, this is a bright solar plexus. This is a powerful sacral chakra. But we're trying to move into that heart space, this collective. And it's interesting because the whole first year of this channel, it was about empowering that solar plexus space. And this year, it seems to be moving more into that heart space for the collective that I'm reading for. And we're trying to transform something by doing that. It's like we're trying to take that sovereignty into the heart space. This is a portion of the journey that, unfortunately, I don't see a lot of people go through, right? They very rarely even get into the place of acknowledging their self-sovereignty. So for whoever this collective is, you're doing a great job. Like you're getting very far in your journey, in your path, in your evolution. When we take this solar plexus energy of the lessons that we've learned about our self-sovereignty, about our self-efficacy and our own agency, and we start implementing those lessons into an open heart, this is where we're able to show up in a way that's extremely powerful and healing and vulnerable in even circumstances where maybe people don't necessarily deserve that, right? Deserve, if we want to speak about it that way. And this is where we're not impeded by that. So whoever's message this is about allowing ourselves to bring forward a truly divine feminine energy, not one that is wounded. Okay, we have the spirit dancer, and the spirit dancer is about freedom. When we step into this energy of empowerment, now being brought up into the heart space, one of the things that happens is it puts us in touch with an aspect of our soul that has tried to be free, free expression. We can learn the lessons of expressing and creating and putting things out there and being okay with that before this. But it's only when we take this energy of the king and we transmute it into the energy of the maiden that now we're bringing forward something that's divinely powerful, divinely inspired, right? And not in a way of I'm being controlled by something, but in a co-creative sort of way. Okay, and this is the guardian at the gate. There is definitely a new phase trying to open up for somebody, whoever this message is for. And it's almost reminds me of the threshold reading a couple days ago. Not necessarily the reading itself, but that idea of the threshold where we've come to the edge of something. And this edge of something is that beautiful space of liminality where things start to move and shift. There may be, unsettling situations in our life because of that, because who we are is starting to change, right? We might even view it a little bit like, wow, am I getting caught back up in a previous cycle? How you know that you're not is that how you are feeling about it, how you're showing up to it is different, right? Your thoughts about it are more mature, they're more aligned, they're of a higher vibration. And as this sort of gate kind of approaches, because I'm not ever sure that we necessarily are the ones stepping to the gate. Did you create the path or did the path create you? This is an energy of something is unfolding just before that door opens. It has to. It's that subtle change in air as someone opens and cracks open the seal on the door. And so there may be something right now moving through your life, almost like a shock wave of this change. And I don't know why cataclysmic change is what came through for me, but for some of you there may be a very tower-like moment in order for this to happen. However, whoever's message this is, because you've embodied this sort of sovereignty, I don't think that tower is going to affect you, right? Towers only affect people who rely on them. Okay, and we have that gnome showing up. So I almost feel that for some of you, there's a situation that's going around you where you're kind of like eyeing it, like, really? It's that kind of energy when I'm seeing this right now. He's just kind of like looking ahead of him like, you got to be kidding me, really? And there may be a situation like that inside of your life. There may be something that you figure out finally in this sort of gateway process, or this, stepping through this threshold kind of process where you're like, really, that's all it was? Like, and I made a big deal out of it. It's going to be something like that. Something that is, it's a little unexpected, but it's just kind of like for real. And not necessarily in a bad way or a condescending way. It's just, there's something there for somebody. I also want to say this: if you are the person that resonates for, be aware of the roles that you are allowing others to put you into and the roles that you're allowing yourself to step into. The reason why I'm saying that is because of his hat. If you look at his hat, it's got that little stitch. This isn't really a hat, right? This is something else that has been kind of folded over and stitched together, and hats represent roles. This is something that you may be finding yourself providing more stability for another person or for a group of people or for a situation, then maybe it's your responsibility to provide. And so this may be one way in which we're being kept in this king energy rather than being allowed to exist inside the maiden energy. And there's an honest conversation with the self that needs to happen concerning this. If you are in fact trying to change this survival mode, or this always being in charge and always taking control and always being the adult and always being the responsible one, if you're trying to move into this energy of peace and love and empathy and vulnerability, there's times where we wear the hats, there's times when we take them off, right? There's always a time and place, but it does feel like someone here, we can see the gateway of how we can step into this other energy, but there may be a situation that's keeping us in this king energy, having to advocate for our sovereignty, having to provide stability, having to hold things together, having to be the glue, is how it just came through to me. And so there is some honest conversation that needs to happen, and this honest conversation very much seems to have to do with the number 4, with 4D showing up, and that is, again, conflict. So what are we conflicted with, right? Is there something in our life that's conflicting us against our own goals, where it is that we're trying to get to? Is there something that's preventing us from getting there? And if there is this necessarily something that we want in our lives? Is this necessarily something that we can navigate? Are there other ways to navigate it, I guess, is how I'm trying to say that. Okay, I'm being drawn over here, and I keep looking at the word pioneer on my speaker. So there may be a need to pioneer some new pathways for yourself, maybe some other options, some other routes that you hadn't conceived of before, right? It's almost like plan B. What is the plan B? What is the plan C? Okay, and we have ecstasis. Really being honest about what brings you joy. Really being honest about that. Oftentimes when we're in this king energy, and I am only speaking about the king energy and its negative aspect, so I want to be clear on that. Oftentimes when we're in this like negative king aspect, there is a sense of unhappiness that comes in, right? There's things that are threatening us. They're threatening our safety, right? The king goes into his negative aspect when he's been at war too long, again, going back to the sword. And so what is it that truly makes you happy? What is it that you want in this particular situation? What is it that you want from your life? Okay, and we have the number 46 showing up with friends. So for some of you, there may be a need to focus on friendships. There may be a need to downgrade a relationship to a friendship. There may be a need to rebuild certain friendships. I am seeing Tobiah of the Waters on the bottom, and so that's a card that's about emotional healing. There may be an honest conversation that needs to happen between yourself and somebody that you genuinely care about what makes you happy and what it is that is not making you happy. I do see that there is something interpersonal that seems to be preventing somebody from moving from the king energy into the maiden energy. And for some of you, there's going to be some sort of inspiration that comes through regarding that. It may have been an inspiration that recently came through regarding that. And what's required here is bravery. It's a bravery to have the conversation and bravery to examine the situation. Not all of you are going to have this be an interpersonal dynamic, but for some of you, it most certainly is. Okay, one card. Okay, Queen of the Day. Again, another number 4. We have a lot of 4s showing up. So I almost feel that someone here, you understand that you're ready to release something. I'm seeing there's like this arm armlet, is that what it's called? An armlet, that is made out of like almost like these silver thorns. It's like something that has claimed you and is poking you all at the same time, right? So it's like something that you can't seem to get away from. So this is making me think, for example, an individual who comes into your life and they're like, you're mine, but then they just kind of emotionally abuse you. You know what I'm saying? Or they just kind of take that space for granted. There's something here that's very indignant in this arm bracelet that I'm seeing right now. It's almost like it's taking down the shirt a little bit. And so I'll show you that. And so when we talk about the shirt in terms of like symbolism, this is really our higher identity, right? It's our higher ego. It's almost like something is trying to take us out of ourselves. So this may be one of the reasons why we are trying to create something new inside of our life and step through a gateway here. I almost feel that some of you are trying to release something or someone. So that's not going to be for everybody. But there is something here that is throwing up some difficulty. It's throwing up some sort of confusion. It's throwing up some sort of conflict from us being able to reach this place that we were already going, right? That's how it feels. It's the place that you were already going. And in order to navigate to that space of greater love, greater vulnerability, there's either a conversation of release that needs to happen or a conversation with somebody about boundaries. Right? Laying down some rules. Again, heavy interpersonal energy that's coming through. It's not going to be that way for everybody, but that's a big one for many of you. Okay. Okay, 3. Oof, and then the bottom. We have the 7 of Inspiration, which is the 7 of Swords. We have the, 7 of Wands. We have the Page of Inspiration, which is the Page of Wands, 8 of Voices, which is the 8 of Swords, and then 3 of Voices, which is the 3 of Swords. Again, this is kind of speaking to that trying to get unstuck from something. When we have this 7 of Wands, really having to defend our freedom, having to defend our own sovereignty with that Page of Wands. So it's almost as though we've taken this negative aspect of the king, we've turned it into the positive aspect of the king. We're trying to bring it into the heart space, but something keeps shoving us into this negative aspect of the king. Having somebody who shouldn't be relying on you, whether it's for their own safety, their comfort, their wholeness, right? Or maybe this is just somebody who is always pushing, right? There's something here that's going on. Definitely something here that's going on that is making somebody feel especially trapped with the 8 of Voices, the 8 of Swords. We may, again, if this isn't interpersonal and this is something that's taking place inside of us, it may be that sword energy. How do we release that sword? How do we release the defensiveness and free ourselves from that? The interesting thing that's standing out to me here is the Page of Inspiration, the Page of Wands. There's 2 cats. There's 2 black cats really trying to come into this feminine energy. I receive, I allow, I accept. That softness, that kindness, that tenderness, that vulnerability. And then we have the 3 of Swords. It's very hard to step into that energy when there's a situation that keeps hurting you, right? That's very difficult to do. You can't necessarily be vulnerable when something is trying to hurt you. And so sometimes that pain is an indicator that sovereignty hasn't necessarily come with us, right? And that's not to say that we're not sovereign of ourselves when we're hurt by things. Obviously, being hurt by things is a very natural and healthy emotion. But what seems to be trying to transfigure is that energy. It seems like somebody here, and this isn't a statement on whether this is healthy or unhealthy. This is not a statement on that. It's what I'm seeing in the cards that someone is trying to do. Someone here seems to be trying to eliminate that from their emotional database. And I would really suggest that you take a step back and ask yourself why. Right? These are emotions that we have. They're all part of us, and they should be integrated and understood, not necessarily eradicated. And so if you find yourself trying to eradicate emotions in order to keep something alongside of you, there may be something there to look at, right? Something to examine. in terms of how we're imprisoning ourself, because the self isn't trying to be in the Eight of Swords. The self is trying to be in this energy. And again, I think the original thing, I think it was this reading, one of the original things was, why are we holding on to something? Why are we holding on to something? That might have been yesterday's reading. I can't even remember now. Yeah, something's definitely trying to change. How to make the shift, that's going to be very different for everyone. So I'm going to leave this here. This is all that I think I'm able to get from this. So whoever's message this is, I wish you the best of luck with this. This is a little bit of a difficult energy, not going to lie. But being able to shift into this energy out of a negative state of this sort of kinghood. And I feel like being able to make that shift, that's going to put you into a place where you're going to find that you're able to grow things, right? It's a very Empress sort of energy when the two are combined. So whoever's message this is, good luck, and I wish you the best.